It's morning already? Oh, Paimon still needs more sleep. Huh? Wait, look over there! It's one of Linny's cards! Let Paimon see what's Maybe you haven't heard, but it's been a while since we last talked. Ooh, today's our lucky day! We have the day off! From the sound of it,
Take it easy.
Look! There are some people talking over there! Let's...
If you ask me, those pompous parasites on the surface act like they're all a bunch of aristocrats. Do any of them give half a hoot about a bunch of dogs like us?
Hey, speak for yourself, mate!
Oh, you think you're special or something? If you're here, then you're just a convict like the rest of us. I've heard that even if you're released after serving your sentence, going back to life on the surface ain't any better. Once a criminal, always a criminal. We're marked for life.
I don't buy.
Hey, how cool would it be if the whole world was destroyed by a giant flood and everyone had to start over from nothing?
What kind of filthy bilgewater are you spewing? I have family up there. You best shut your sewer hole with talk like that. Listen, things ain't so great on the surface, but who says that you have to leave? I've heard that you can still stay here and work even after you've served your sentence. Not bad if you ask me. Who wants to live in the ruddy overworld anyway?
And what makes you think they'd want to hire someone like you?
Whoa. Sounds like they're really unhappy about the overworld. Speaking of which, Paimon never heard anyone use the words overworld or underworld when we were living up there. That's true.
Behold!
Hey, you over there? Yeah, you! Say, do you like playing card games? You know, like Genius Invocation TCG?
You TCG players are like...
Hey, come on now. What's wrong with finding fellow Invocation aficionados? Anyway, care to join me? All right.
But why would you be looking for people to play Genius Invocation in a place like this? Don't people usually come here to fight?
Whether you're throwing down cards or throwing punches, it's all a competition, isn't it? There are lots of card players here in the fortress. When I saw you, I immediately thought, hey, even outsiders from other nations play cards. So I came over to say, sure.
Great! Since you've been here longer than us, you need to flex your seniority a little bit, right? Maybe...
I thought you would have already heard every...
Why don't you pick?
All right. Have you heard any strange rumors since you've been? Did you know that there are some people who are always gossiping over in the corner? There are two guys who are all... I never really found their gossip very mind-blowing. If you're interested...
Good to know.
Let me think. Oh, did you know that the Duke was also a convict in the fortress of Meripede before?
Huh?
That's right. The Duke was an inmate just like you and me. Seems he was exiled here for committing some crime. To go from an ordinary inmate to becoming the manager of the whole place? I'm not gonna lie, I kinda respect that. A forbidden zone?
It's just a rumor we've been hearing, but no one...
Anything else?
Squall Fury!
There's a group of people over there. Let's go listen in.
So I said, that's not a faucet. Hey, who are you two? What?
Oh, sorry for eavesdropping. Sounds like you were talking about...
What's the matter? They're just looking to join in on our fun.
Hey, don't pretend like it's okay for them to just interrupt us like that. Yeah, fine. Your
You hear that, Quisto?
expressions tell me you're looking to hear some juicy info, am I right?
Really? Are we that famous?
You're kidding. How often does anyone get a personal tour led by His Grace himself?
A little mistake, huh? I like the way you put it.
Your group?
I'm Quisto, and this is Lavaroon. People usually call us the Bombshell Bros, but don't worry. We're not playing with bombs or anything. It's just that our information is always so explosive, and we blow minds on the regular.
So, you two really like to gossip?
No. You don't get it. Knowing intelligence will make things better for you here. For example, whoa, all this info's worth something.
I don't mind him. Quisto's always this way. Just play nice and say something to massage his eat the welfare meals. Talk about the welfare meals.
Right. That meal we had yesterday was super delicious.
Is that so? To tell you the truth, I've been helping out with making those welfare meals. I've been working as a kitchen assistant for about a month and a half now.
Oh, so you're the one who made those delicious...
You are correct. I am since you like my cooking. I guess that means we share similar tastes. Listen, kids, you've already met the one
Those who have the duty.
I know who you mean.
But did you know?
I don't care if he was a... Speaking of which...
You mean he hit a wolf?
But that Lorvine's a...
Wait a second.
Do you think it... Could it be that they're secretly meeting there to go on dates?
After all,
Okay, we've talked to just about everyone, and it's about time for us to go meet Linny. According to the card he left us, we should go meet him in the production zone.
The wind rises. Take it easy.
behold.
Upon the gale. The wind rises.
Huh? That look in your eyes. You found something?
Hey, this is no time to be modest. Just tell him we found a boatload of information.
Oh. Huh. I'd have never guessed that myself. The rumors swirling about this place are unreliable after all, and Master Child probably went missing because he found a way out. He is a harbinger after all. I suppose he's much more resourceful than I initially gave him. Unfortunately, this isn't enough for our final report to Father. We need to find out Master Child's... Father told me that even though Master Child said he was just coming to Fontaine for a vacation, he actually had some personal reasons. His agenda might be linked to his disappearance.
His escape route is already flooded, so we'll have to task someone with professional diving skills.
Well, when you put it that way, it's obvious that only Fremine would be up to the task.
Bingo!
He's working today. Coming here as a group would have attracted too much attention. I'll talk to him about it later. It's the least I can do. We're all in this together, so it's only fair for us. Honestly, I'm far more impressed by you guys managing to collect all this information right under Rice. Now, let me think. And if he's to do that, he'll have to set out on the next pipe cleaning day at the earliest.
You can even estimate how long it'll take for him to get—
We've been working together for a long time. We know each other's capabilities like the back traveler. What say you to meeting here 9 days from now? Oh, and there's just one last thing. Though we can just sit back and wait for Fremine's report on Master Child's whereabouts, we still need to make more progress on the investigation of the Forbidden Zone. Fremine's—
What do you want us to do?
Well, I won't— Listen carefully. You'll need to find an excuse to get into the infirmary and investigate the— You've mentioned several sketchy-looking people always meeting at the infirmary earlier. Investigate the internal structure of the infirmary and any active dealings within. But also, there's no need to take risks. Don't forget, safety always— my apologies. I just started rambling out of habit. It was almost as if I was talking to my younger sister.
But that's not a bad thing, right? All right, then we'll head out as soon as we finish our prep.
Let's go our separate ways for now, then. Don't forget, we meet—
Hey, stay here for now. Paimon will take a peek. There seem to be several people inside.
Right. I feel
It's not impossible.
It's a bit hard to understand them from here. Oh. Someone, please help! She's...
Whoa, are you okay?
Oh my! What's wrong, little one? There's no need to panic. Take a deep breath before—
The traveler started complaining of a stomachache, and then nausea, and then collapsed onto the ground. Freezing limbs, twitching fingers, and pale complexion.
Let me take a look. Please, lie down over here. Don't worry, I'll get you to the bed safely. Here, hold on to my shoulder and walk slowly.
You can do it, traveler!
Don't apologize. You're sick after all. Now, please relax. I'm just going to do a preliminary checkup on you. My checkup has confirmed that she's not in any mortal danger. That's our worst fear out of the way.
Eh? Oh, that's...
I'll continue my diagnosis of the patient now. Please, don't sense serious damage to your organs either. And here? Huh? But based on my initial checkup, there shouldn't be a problem here. How strange. What about here? I think you just ate something that disagreed with you. That's all. Nothing too serious. Outside of a pretty bad stomachache when it decides to act.
So that's what it is. Thank goodness it's not anything more serious.
And there have been other inmates complaining about the food recently. I'll inform our head chef, Mr. Woolsey, of this problem as soon as possible. Congratulations! The health risk is incredibly low. Miss Levine, I'll have to—
Very well.
And she hopped away.
Hello. So how are you feeling now?
Her stomach stomach aches really bad. She was stumbling about the whole way here, so Paimon's really worried.
If Miss Sijuin says it's not a serious problem, then there's no need to worry. She's the best medic we've got down here.
But it also looks like she's the only medic you've got down here.
Well,
What do you mean that's true? That's really misrepresenting the situation. Of course I can't speak for the whole fortress, but it's not like everyone imprisoned here is used. Though they may have committed crimes and gotten locked up here as a result, they still...
yeah.
That's correct.
Are you two...
We've been sick a while. I come back every once in a while for checkups, and to pick up the medicines Miss... You could say she fancies herself as Miss Sijuin's capable helper
Please watch your mouth, Mr. Jurier. Don't forget that you...
Hey, don't start arguing now, please.
Please allow me to end...
And same to you, Miss Lorvine. Anyway, that was more than enough rest for me, so I'm going to get out of this excess...
He just slowly walked off like that?
I'm sorry you had to see all of that. I'm Lorvine.
You...
I'll accompany you two for a while. Miss Sijuin should be back. No.
I'm back! Did you rest like you promised?
Thank you for getting our medicine.
Did you all cooperate with your bed rest? I trust that nobody got up to walk around. Good. Here, this should be 2 days' worth of medicine for you. Take 1 pill now, and then continue your bed rest. Miss Lorvine. Yellow, huh?
All right, then I'll also be on my way now. I hope you feel better soon, too.
See ya!
I'm going to fill out your medical record now. You're widely known as the Traveler, right? I just want to double-check a few details.
Those two made quite the commotion just now, so why don't we let the traveler rest? Paimon...
All right, then.
Is there anything we should know besides...
No, her base cause...
Got it! Paimon will hold the traveler to that for sure. Oh, you're going to take a nap already? Okay then, you get some rest. We've been to lots of places together. She may look a bit under the weather now, but she's actually super strong.
Oh, so you're the best of companions. You're awake.
How do you feel? You slept for a really long time, but we...
Well, now you can go back without a worry in the world. Remember to take the meds regularly.
Thank you, Miss Sijuin!
Quit following me. Behold!
You really are something. To be able to fall asleep like that and even sleep talk the entire time, you scared Paimon half to death! No, but you kept mumbling things along the lines of... Paimon talked with Sijuin. Whoa! You really are...
Did you two run into any trouble over the past few days?
No, we just worked our shifts according to the schedule.
That's good. That means you didn't raise any suspicions when you... We've taken a look at the slip you've sent. Fremine successfully left the grounds via the pipes 2 days ago, and...
Wait, why is she getting involved as well?
You already went above and beyond when you... Infiltrating a guarded stronghold is a different kind of job from a one-off investigation. We want to avoid using the same... Lynette also felt like you have already taken the first step for us,
So that's what Lynette thinks. Oh, Paimon hopes everything's going well for her.
Then, let's go check on Lynette before Fremine returns. If everything went...
Is now really a good time to go?
According to my observations, Sigewinne always spends around half an hour away from the infirmary, right? Also, I'm her brother, remember? It's only natural for an older brother to care about his younger sister's well-being.
Okay, then let's head over right away.
Lynette should be here right now. Huh, strange.
As expected, Sigewinne isn't here, but why is...
No, Lynette rarely deviates unless...
Let's see if there are any clues.
Okay. None of the beds have any signs of having been slept in.
That's the one Lynette must see.
She would have said her migraine was having a particularly bad flare-up. Generally speaking, which means...
There are some books here and a few files. Advanced nursing? These sure are some interesting books. She even has books on understanding people's motivations and feelings.
Seems quite normal to me. These are skills that would come in handy for a nurse from time to time.
This is it!
Wait, this thing? The space behind it is empty. From its size, I don't think it's an entrance that is meant to be taken apart. Could Lynette have tried to get inside? Let's look around here for some more clues.
Hey, you guys, there's a slip of paper over...
A slip of paper?
It's right over here, and there's a bunch written on it too. It reads, out of respect for your usual practices, I'll use a piece of paper or card as the medium to pass on my message. You may consider this as me giving you...
This is...
Is that all? The back!
Show me! Now!
That look... Would you care to... No. Could she have...
Writhely. Did he deliberately leave the infirmary unguarded to use it as bait?
Wait, you mean he was aware of our goals from the very beginning? But why? We didn't run into any trouble last time, and he also never reached out to us since.
Yes, that is a crucial question. Writhely, he doesn't do anything without a clear goal or reason. So this means he had no concerns about your activities from the very... You're not from the same camp as us. You were sent down here by Nervulet, so you have no conflict of interest with Writhely. We're a completely different story, though. I'd like to know that, too. Don't panic, just... Wait, you're right. The fact that Fremine was able to leave the grounds... Could Writhely have let him go as well?
But what does he gain by letting Fremine leave like that?
So he's challenged... If Writhely let him leave on purpose, then he's probably in a terrible spot now.
Lenny's getting more and more panicked. Don't be like this, Lenny.
No, I'm the lead...
Hey, don't be reckless! Traveler, please...
I simply cannot allow Lynette to be I have to go. I'll find a...
He's rushed out the door! After
feel like we still have some...
It's not impossible, but it'll require extensive testing.
Is that so? Very well, then... Huh?
Is someone?
Pack everything up. Whoever's outside is eavesdropping. They'll probably come in once we stop talking. Someone! Please help! She's sick!
Whoa, are you okay?
Think what a delightful turn of... Oh my! What's wrong, little one? Being able to read human expressions is quite the useful skill.
Wait! Wait! It's no use. We have to catch up to him. He's already out of sight. How is he so fast? Let's go head him off at Risley's office.
Come out and face me, right?
Aren't we at an administrative office space? Why don't you at least try to follow even a couple rules from the fortress's indoor management regulations?
What did you do to my sister?
I ran into the young miss at the infirmary. I'd heard that she was suffering from quite the migraine, so I decided to invite her over for a cup of tea. I do have some teas in my collection that can work wonders against such an illness.
Stop joking around! Where did you take my sibling?
I have also heard that your performances are quite the spectacle. Miss Lynette would sometimes enter a box filled with water, only to emerge the next second from another. Maybe she'll appear behind you right now if you...
Is he trying to trick me into turning my head? No, he's probably not looking to attack me right now. You knew we were investigating the infirmary from the start. So you deliberately aroused the traveler's suspicions and baited us into continuing our investigation, just so that you'd be able to kidnap Lynette. As for Fremine, no, you probably didn't even interfere with Child's escape. You let him go, so you could purge the Fatui members that we had planted into your...
There was no need to do so. The Fortress of Meripede is a pretty pleasant place. Most people enjoy their lives here. The only ones who act differently are those with personal agendas. It was quite easy.
You removed our original members and spread the news of Child's escape so Father would assign our team to come down and investigate. Fremine has also fallen into your hands, right? If you're oh so omnipotent and so in control, why would you need hostages?
One correction. Lynette is in my hands right now, but Fremine is not.
He's not.
Lenny!
Oh, wonderful. Everyone is here, so I'll only need to say this once. Thank you so much for cooperating with me. Eager and to the point, I see. Alas, only Miss Lynette is currently having a cup, although as per your original plan, Mr. Fremine should also have returned to the fortress by now. But he has neither shown up within my gates, nor has he been taken into any kind of custody. So where do you think he may be right now?
Wait, you locked him outside in the sea?
I closed the fortress's gate to the outside world. That's all.
Fremine's a star diver, so he should be fine, right?
No, we're still here, so he'd definitely try to find a way to come back for us. So we can't assume he might have made a break for the surface.
But why would I do this, you may be asking? To have an audience with you, of course. My intel tells me that Mr. Linney is a great magician, so it's only natural for me to want to have some cards of my own when it comes to negotiating. Besides, I do recall you mentioning to Miss Lynette that you've always wanted to have a face-to-face meeting with the Lord of the Fortress of Meripede, regardless of whether it was in a personal or a professional capacity. Well, you got your wish.
So, you've been keeping tabs on us before we even set foot in the fortress.
Some of my folks just happened to hear a thing or two, that's all. In any case, I was willing to play dumb and turn a blind eye, so we had a plan. Mr. Linney, the cards are stacked against you right now. Miss, you need do but one thing to guarantee their safety.
You want to see Father? But why should she bother giving you an audience?
Well,
If she cares for the well-being of her dearest children, she should have plenty of motivation to join. I've heard that the bonds between the members of the House of the Hearth are like the bonds of family. I don't see why she would refuse.
Why did you think Father sent us to handle the fortress of Meripede? This place is basically a no man's land. It wouldn't be fitting for anyone as important as a harbinger like Father to come here in person.
Oh, I see. So it's because she doesn't care for my place here. That's such a shame. After all, I've amassed quite the tea collection. I was looking forward to sharing it with her. Both Monsieur Neuvillette and Lady Farina have already received many
Was this the extent of your master plan to get to Father? No matter how much pressure you may put on me, I won't allow you to use us to blackmail her.
You people really are difficult to get along with. All I'm asking for is a face-to-face conversation. Does she... Mr. Linney, you have one last chance to invite your father...
Linny!
Instead of asking why I'm doing this, why don't you try to see things from my perspective for a second? I gave you a warning by cutting off the first few operatives I found, but that only caused you to double down. Had you given up on the fortress then and there, I'd have no reason to want it. Mr. Fremenet left the fortress on his own, and Miss Lynette tried to pry out my secrets right in front of me. No matter how you look at it, the responsibility for...
I shouldn't ask Father to do anything because of us.
6.
Wait,
2. Time's up.
Risley!
Negotiations have broken down. Please leave, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, listen to the Traveler!
You do realize that I'm only letting you go because of Neuvillette, yes? You're here helping him out, and I've already done my best to stay out of your way. But that doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want. The fortress may be small and remote, but it still has its own set of laws. Then how about this? Those who are capable deserve respect. You've spent quite some time investigating my home turf by now, so why don't you tell me a thing or two about what you found? I'll ask you 3 questions. Answer all of them correctly. Question 1. Regarding the hidden rules of the production zone, what is the truth behind the one about not being allowed to work for 3 days in a row?
I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for the half hour just before lunch. According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because the Fonta company sponsored it. According to Collins, we often see Miss Sijuin observing the prisoners at work near the production zone. Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an... We often see Miss Sijuin I've been told that the infirmary is... The Fonta promoter has been... I've been told that the infirmary is... Fonta's internal reports suggest... The research note said that the According to Collins, According to Collins, the Fonta promoter has been... We often see Miss Sijuin observe... The research note said that
So that's what's going... The hidden rule of the production zone. People are not supposed to work. At first we thought that she often visits the production zone to observe the workers' health and makes a note out of her sense of duty as the head nurse as what Sijuin has only the best intentions with her surprise gift. Unfortunately, Melazines as a race perceive the world differently from humans, and the recipients of her... Are we on the right track?
Not... All right. Now for my... There are also some...
told that the infirmary is always empty for the half hour just before lunch. Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and unpackaged... According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because the Fonta company sponsored it. The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value of coupons. Fonta's internal reports... According to Collins, the Fonta promoter has been... According to Collins, the research note said that the Melusine race perceives the world very... Fonta's internal report...
Paimon gets this rule too now! That hidden rule of the Pancration, people get scared when they see it because they've subconsciously begun to assume, but really, it's just a bottle of the latest yet-to-be-named a blood-red drink. It's no wonder even the company, facing backlash from its own staff, they came to the fortress of Meropide and offered to sponsor the Pancration tournament so they could push their new product. The Duke, knowing how valuable coupons are in the fortress, knew that, and so...
I acknowledge although based on your description, that Fonta promoter is a bit too careless with his words. I may just reconsider my collaboration. All right, and here's the final question. What's the secret behind our head nurse and all of her patients in the infirmary?
Stop your cruel and pointless games, Risley! You know that we haven't finished our investigation, so there's no way we can answer the last question. The thought of sparing Lynette and Fremine... You'll pay for this!
Lenny, are you alright?
Oh, close one. I owe you, Sigewinne. That was...
It was nothing, Your Grace.
Sigewinne?
Though this gun may look like a toy, it's actually fully functional, as I just...
Sigewinne...
Not at all. I am merely a resident of the fortress, and thus protecting it is when Monsieur Nervulette asked...
But if you mean what you just said, then...
But I really am just doing what His Grace knows it too, right? Well, it's nearly time.
What are you talking about?
Take me if you want. Let them...
how touching.
Don't be like that, Your...
All right, everyone, calm down. 2 more visitors will be arriving, and I'll go get a cup of tea.
You...
I believe I hear...
Some space, please.
Ah, Miss Claret.
Fremine...
What's going on? What is Clarin doing here?
Work.
I'm sorry about shooting you, Mr. Linney. The tranquilizing effect will begin to wear off soon. Please
What happened to Fremine? Wasn't he diving just outside of the fortress? Why is he looking like...
A flushed face, an accelerated pulse. He must... Please, make some space.
I'll talk to Clorand while you get from...
How is he?
These symptoms are probably caused... Of course. Sorry.
Why would he ingest...
Please, look after Mr. Fremine for the moment. I'll go fetch some medicine and a respirator. Oh.
Where is she?
Oh, she just took a nap in an empty...
What's that look on your face? I thought I made good time on the way back.
Oh, I'm just admiring your punctuality. Had you arrived? How's the situation up?
The water has changed. It's pretty much as expected. The concentration of primordial seawater has increased. I was only out there a short time, so it wasn't too bad. But if one were to stay for any significant amount of time...
Where was he when you found...
The abandoned zone at the end of the pipes. A good distance into the water.
Closer than I thought.
Locking the door was necessary. I don't think we could have saved 2.
Well, I did try to convince him that I had my reasons.
It would probably work on Neuvillette. He has a knack for picking out who had good intentions.
It's a bad sign if you're having to plead your case to Niv. Want some tea?
Not particularly. If you want to drink
Fine, I'd like...
might as well then.
Lenny, are you okay?
I'll be fine.
Are you sure?
My hands and feet are still a bit weak, but that's probably just the residual.
I'm back, everyone.
Lenny! Remine?
He'll be fine. But for now...
His breathing's beginning to...
Give me a hand and help me...
Yeah, I'll take him from this side. Lynette?
On it.
Traveler, you seem pretty worried about him.
The Duke and Clarande are gone.
They probably went to...
Squall and Fury! The wind rises. Behold!
Take it easy.
He's awake! Lenny... Lynette...
We're all here.
The infirmary, at the Fortress of Meripede.
How do you feel? Don't put...
Trap... the sea! There's something wrong with... Shh, it's okay. We can talk about it after you've... No! Listen to me. This is really serious. There's primordial seawater mixed into the regular seawater. I don't know why it's there, but no one should touch it. Pipes... Right, the pipes. It's all coming back to me now. I'm in. Seems like this pipe hasn't been used in a long time. It looks abandoned. Where could Master Child be? Frost is coming! This mechanism looks like it's been tampered with. Could he have done it?
This is where the The vegetation here is a bit more sparse. These traces aren't natural. A person must have left them, and recently. There are traces here too. I need to keep going. Huh? The traces are gone. But I don't see where he could have gone from here. Wait. What the? My heart is racing, and it's getting harder and harder to breathe. No good. I have to get back. They still don't know anything about what's going on. If I turn back right now, I should still be able to make it. I can't die here. I have to push on.
So, in other words, the trail you were following vanished, and you had no idea where Master Child could have gone.
That's right. I tried my best to swim back, but I had already put some distance between myself and the fortress.
Miss Clarande brought you back.
Miss Clarande, you say?
You're still too weak for—
Miss Lynette is right.
A guest? Then I can assume Risley was the one who invited her to—
You should ask His Grace about that.
Yeah, it's about time he actually told us what's going on. Wanna—
No, please go on without me.
Lenny.
The logical part of my—
In that case, I'll leave the infirmary to you.
Thank you.
Squall Fury!
Too slow.
Behold!
Excuse me?
I take it Mr. Fremonet's condition has...
Of course. I wouldn't have left the infirmary otherwise.
I've been expecting those two, but might I inquire as to the purpose of your visit, Miss Siege?
I wanted to check up on Miss Clarande.
Mostly fine.
If you don't mind, I'd like to perform another quick physical exam.
All right. Thank—
Well, want to—
Of course, but I'm not partial to the word choice of... where should I begin? No.
You managed to monitor and stay ahead of them even though you didn't know what they were trying to do?
They came here with ulterior motives. I'm quite adept at this. Initially, I thought their goal was just to investigate Child's disappearance. Linny suggested that I had deliberately let him escape, but in truth, I didn't really do anything special to help or hinder him while he was here. Of course, it's inevitable that the knave would make a big deal out of her fellow Harbinger's unexplained disappearance. I'm also quite curious about where that Harbinger went. So I figured I might as well let the Fatui do their own investigative work.
So you were hoping Lenny's group would just do your work?
You make it sound like that's a bad thing. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. The Forbidden Zone has always been Lenny's target, and you got roped into that investigation after running into him. I began to intervene out of concern for your safety.
Are the rumors true?
Why would you put it like that? Isn't staying here all day and serving as the manager of the fortress a kind of sentence unto itself?
Oh, right. Paimon wanted to ask, who invited Claran down?
Me, of course. I paid her good mora to come down to the fortress for some field work. As a champion duelist, Miss Claran could be considered to be an independent party. I needed to find an exceptionally capable person to help me get through the appendix.
And saving Fremennik?
You can think of it like that, yes. Credit where credit is due. That's not something you should be asking after. Neuvillette only asked you to investigate child. All I need to prove—
But we've already uncovered that there's something wrong with the infirmary. And we've answered a bunch of questions that you threw at us.
You make a compelling case.
Yeah, Paimon—
Even if the truth may not be pleasant. Follow me.
Door here? And a whole basement behind it? Huh. You're pretty good at hiding stuff, Rise.
It seems you forgot.
Quit following me.
Stand on the central plate.
Wait, is there a secret mechanism or... Whoa! So, this is the Forbidden Zone? Honestly, for a place so well hidden, Paimon sure doesn't... What a huge door!
There are 3 such isolation gates in total. Generally speaking, I'm the only one who's allowed to go inside. Hence the name. Am I correct to assume you're going to run on back and tell your little Fatui friend?
Well, Drop! Huh. So there's a switch on...
Stand back.
Whoa! They all just went up one...
Go on, have a look.
Starfall!
I've been interested in what lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the Fortress of Meripede. Of course, it would be unwise to recklessly open it, but it'd also be risky and negligent to simply ignore any potential. The readings on that dashboard have not budged since the day when I first laid eyes on this place. Normally, I would have ignored it, but I happened to have some free time when I noticed it, so I investigated. Very reasonable guesses. The temperature should vary with weather and climate changes, so for something that rarely shifts, the water pressure is more likely. We ran later on, a few more possibilities occurred to me. Over the past few days,
The concentration?
and that is precisely the problem. Yes,
But forget about the 2 of us. Not... Oh.
seems like you've figured it out. I believe the primordial sea lies directly beneath this sluice gate. For some reason, the primordial seawater levels have risen significantly, and the indicators are if this continues... Yeah, you know what the
But that's just too weird!
Your expression tells me you think this might be part of... It's just that the secret... There's no single... When the previous Hydro Archon, Egeria, ruled the land, all convicted criminals from Fontaine were exiled. The people drove the criminals away like a wolf pack chasing away the banished. The criminals received no sympathy of any kind from the people. They were exiled to the desolate seaside, where they experienced only pain, struggle, and some of them began to repent, and prayed to the Hydro Archon, asking if there was still anything they could do. the Hydro Archon took pity on them and said, "You may go guard my secret, deep under." And so, leaning on the power of the Hydro Archon, they gathered underneath the sea and began to build a fortress. They became a community down there in the deeps, and over the years helped it to grow. As the number of exiled, the Hydro Archon continued to, and with that, but as time went on, once they had finished serving their sentences, some people left and some others chose to stay. They'd find some idle position and let their wither. After many now and again, researchers managed to break one law or another and live out their days in the fortress.
But now you know every part of that history.
Indeed. It's just, to be frank, not really. Prophecies are a troublesome thing. Let's go somewhere else. This is it.
Your Grace, perfect timing. The results—
Wait, Jurier, he's not—
Huh?
No need to panic, you—
What? After you—
I'm skeptical as well.
The results speak for—
All right then, if Your Grace insists.
They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them for now.
How about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research. Good. So Edwin's main area—
You...
Gotta admit—
Guys, focus! Focus!
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my—
Ooh, are they together?
See, everyone keeps asking this question. Are you too sure you're not a couple and just using your work as a convenient cover?
Your Grace, I am not in a relationship with this man.
If I dated her, I'd officially be madder than—
Jeez, forget I said anything. Follow me.
Whoa, there's another door that goes right up.
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
But Paimon really thinks everything's super cool.
Well, let's spice it up a bit. And here you go.
What a huge ship! This is also a production zone that Paimon's never
How much do you know about Fontaine?
I...
Well, then maybe you haven't heard the story of ancient Lemuria. To give you a quick rundown, Fontaine used to be ruled by the Lemurian dynasty. According to legend, the Lemurian king Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation and found the seer Sibila, who had taken on the form of a golden bee. Taking the golden bee with him and riding on a huge ship, the Fortuna, he created his nation above the surging wave. He called his nation Lemuria and used the Fortuna to incessantly search for new tribes and islands, calling them—
There's a ship in this story.
Where there's water, there'll be ships. People believe that hope can always be found at the end of a voyage.
Do you believe that too?
To a point, I think. As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and technology at my disposal. Certainly can. So the moment I began to speculate that the primordial sea might lie underneath the gate, I also began this project.
Were you inspired by the
Maybe. Fontainians need something to hold on to cope with the impending disaster. Were the workers to find out the truth behind this ship, riots would destroy the fortress faster than any catastrophe. As the fortresses have been— All right, that's enough talking for now. Seems like you're good. I'll leave you here.
Oh!
No worries. But don't forget, it's up to you whether or not you want to share.
Yeah, we'll put a lot of thought into it for sure.
Great.
Squall and Fury!
We're back!
Welcome back. Do you want a cup of tea?
How can you be so...
Actually, now that you mention it, while I was sedated, I could still barely hear two people talking next to me.
Must have been Risley and Sishwin.
Yeah, I heard one male voice and one female, so it should have...
I really can't make sense of this place.
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to learn anything from Risley?
Yeah, he explained everything.
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my speculations? Yeah, I took the time to rest, so I'm feeling a lot more
Nobody else is around, and Miss Siege.
All right, then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself 3 questions. Firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was because he dove into the sea. My theory is, the long-lost primordial sea is probably very close to the fortress of Meripede.
Ooh, he's good. He got that right on the first try.
That's our Lenny.
Secondly, Risley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. He ignored us completely at first, then suddenly roadblocked us. Why? I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the what's more, the Fortress of Meripede is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it report to Udex. As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. And while the 2 factions are pitted against each other, Risley will be free to move between the parties of interest. If I had to guess, he probably has something that he's working on himself.
You're super.
Thanks so. If Risley does, I don't have enough information.
Let's see.
Could Risley have... If you remember, I once mentioned that Father sees the House of the Hearth as her base of operations, and she truly wants to resolve the crisis.
Or perhaps he didn't know.
Yeah, that makes... The 2 of you have already... If you ever need anything else going... Though you may not share this...
You have my...
Thank you for protecting Lynn.
Why are you being so formal all of a sudden? Paimon's hungry.
Oh,
Alright, then we'll catch you...
The wind rises.
Come on, let's go pick up ours as well.
Traveler and Paimon, over here.
Are you here for dinner too, Huh. You're right. She's actually sitting in the fortress cafeteria.
What would you like to eat? Yep, you can. I've already talked to our chef, Mr. Wolsey. It's all on me today, so you can get whatever you'd like.
Me too, don't...
No problem.
So delicious. Is this how it feels to be freeload?
Feeling full yet? How's the food?
Delicious.
I'm
Siegeween?
a bit of both, I suppose. I'm a Melazine, which means I'm very different from human beings. I must know what you're thinking.
You're really good at taking...
Really? You're...
Oh, and what is...
Oh, that. I thankfully... Although the path was... Oh, and I was keeping an eye on...
You were all super...
It's just what we do down... Oh. Get a good night's rest.
Too slow.
be epic! Everybody stand up!
Follow me. Squall and Fury. Behold! The wind rises.
So much is. I'm super sleepy. Delicious.
Out of my way! Get out of my way! What happened? Why? No idea, but something must have happened. Stop asking!
Who's yep? What happened? Why is everyone running around? Hey, what are you doing?
No time to explain, mate. Goodbye.
Hey, what's wrong with these people?
They're here! There you are!
Oh, thank goodness!
Quisto and Lavaroon, do you know what happened here?
We came here especially to inform you. Something seems to have gone terribly wrong just now. His Grace is telling everyone to evacuate and get out of here. Lavaroon was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends, so you might slip through the cracks.
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that up? Why is it suddenly—
Hey, shut—
Okay, whatever. The point is, you should come with us. Yeah, he said to get us—
Oh no, it can't be that thing!
Whoa, wait, what? What? Hey!
We have to go find the Duke! You two just go and get out! Go on without us!
Hey! Be careful!
Attention! Please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try to move as far outwards as possible.
They're here.
Just like I said.
What happened?
Huh.
You're just in time. But be ready to run. Three, 2, 1.
This won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to collapse.
Then what will happen to you?
Until he arrives, we're the last line of defense. The gate. How long do you think it'll hold?
That depends on us.
Neuvillette? Why are you here?
Traveler, I need you to head to the Opera House immediately. Farina will soon be meeting with the Knave there. You must protect Farina, and make sure she doesn't spend too much time alone with her. Will do. You have my sincerest...
Take it easy.
Squall and Fury!
Look! There are a ton of Fatilium Palais Mermonia. Are you two the Traveler and Paimon? Though I'm sure he's already explained, this should be a mostly cordial...
Oh, so you two are the honored guests Miss Farina mentioned.
Of course, of course! How could they not attend a meeting such as this? I must...
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, traveler. I have heard much of your accomplishments. I am the Knave, one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers.
I've already prepared seats for you.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Farina and I do things. You see, we actually recently agreed to get together for tea. See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Farina simply adores. There are only 16 slices sold every day. Here, why don't you and Paimon have a taste?
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
That's good to hear. So what Child said was on the mark after all. You do share a taste in desserts with... I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right? He's suddenly gone missing. I'm really worried about his safety, you know. Here's to hoping that he's an excellent swimmer.
Since we're talking about him, I feel like I should add something. His martial prowess really looked... certainly pretty...
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Farina. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Child was subdued by Judex Nuvillette right in front of you. Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just never imagined he'd run into such a person. I must Coming.
But I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Of course, but it's still a bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this news somewhat earlier. As you well know, a long time has passed since Child
Well, in any case, there's no need to worry. We know for sure that Child is still...
Oh. And just how do you know?
Because we found evidence that proved he left the fortress...
And where did he go after
What?
The fortress of Meripede lies deep beneath the waves. Unless he pranced right out of the main gate, he must have had to swim for it. Do you have any proof that he surfaced? Ah, that is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Fontaine not too long ago, since he was unfortunately unavailable. Do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, your letter made me feel like we were still enjoying our time in Snezhnaya together. I'm currently admiring the scenery on the streets in front of the Opera House.
All letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long as the contents are accurate, it doesn't matter so much how it's written or how it's worded.
Hold on. The water in the teacup is shaking.
I suppose this is also a sign of things to come.
Huh? I don't quite understand what you're...
Have we entered into the next stage of the prophecy?
My thanks to you both. I will take it from here.
Sure you don't need a hand?
Quite sure.
Wow. So, what's your secret, huh? Let me guess. Nah, who knows? Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Sounds about right.
Day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled, and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day! This ancient power could easily obliterate an entire race. A tsunami of fury would unleash endless catastrophe. This sentence is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
All right. Seems like the problem inside has been suppressed.
Let me guess, we're safe.
Indeed. But only for now.
I win this bet. You owe me a present.
Very well. It was indeed just as you said.
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Cloran thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake. It appears I underestimated just how confidential the mission was.
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidential missions by now? That's just how the courts operate.
So what gift must the loser give?
He already has tons of tea in his office. I'm thinking about a set of legal codices.
That wouldn't happen to be a dig at my lack of legal awareness, would it?
Well, I'm sure His Grace doesn't consider the fortress to be outside the law.
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this would be uninterested in the legal
That was obvious. Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business to attend to in the overworld, correct?
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter. We all know you can't leave Palais Marmonia for—
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly with the
I must say, we've spent long enough playing house. Miss Farina, as the Hydro Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed. Or should I say, that's what I originally thought. But looking at your expression, was I wrong? And you haven't a clue?
What are you trying to—
At this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontainian. You know the prophecy by heart, and also that every part of it is being proven true. Yet, here you are relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than a few stray bugs in your garden. Do you really think that's acceptable? The prophecy's hanging above our necks like a guillotine. Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster or save their own. Even the orphans of the House of the Hearth have devoted everything to saving their homeland. But you? It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree you have been. From the very beginning, you, the god Focalor, you have utterly failed to take action.
You're wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence. Retract your accusation and stop doubting the wisdom of the gods with such absurd conjectures!
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be harboring the exact same thoughts, right? Oh, great Hydro Archon. How are you going to save them? Save us? How are the people you've sworn to protect supposed to survive in a land that will soon disappear beneath the waves?
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time. Even if you look down upon me, you have no right to judge me. Fontaine will be saved. Even if I still cannot see the true future right now, as long as I continue on as I am, I will be able to hold my head up high.
Then I ask you, Miss Farina, just what have you been working on? Where can we see it, and what is it doing to help?
My machinations are just like the prophecy itself. They will only reveal themselves at the fated time. It is just that beings like yourselves are unable to perceive them as of yet.
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always lies beyond prying mortal eyes. Allow me to be so bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not confidential? Such as your emergency response plan for the impending
An emergency response plan?
Oh, that look in your eye.
The emergency response plan is also strictly confidential.
Then allow me to jog your memory. Miss Farina, what is the purpose of your Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal? And what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated over the years?
The Oratrice? It's just like it appears to be.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, someone's using it to prepare for something. But unfortunately, it would seem that someone is not you, Miss Farina. I first caught wind of this when Linny tried to investigate the Oratrice in the Opera House. You see, even just getting close to the core contaminated him with an extremely large amount of indemnitium. But even if that had nothing to do with you, Then what could you possibly be working on, oh great Hydro Archon? Oh, right. I almost forgot. Udex Nouvillette is not at the tea party with us today. Miss Farina, I suppose you must have ordered him away to take care of some troublesome business.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly right. Please keep it a secret for me.
Of course I will. Although, I must say, Miss Farina, you seem quite insecure without the Udex by your side. Oh, very well. Let's stop that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left, so... Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a few matters on behalf of the Udex. Why don't you take an extra slice of cake? Those who work hard deserve gratitude, and you too.
Thank you. Oh,
You're welcome. It is getting late.
Very well.
Mind seeing me off, Traveler? We could use the opportunity to discuss Child before I must be on my way.
Paimon's coming too.
Drop! Starball! Drop!
I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, Child was just an excuse. I have no interest in your dealings with him.
That's what Paimon thought.
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. As their father, I would like... That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings, and informal topics in... I know you just returned from the fortress of Meripede. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you. Linny, Lynette, and Fremine are still there, and I trust their judgment and abilities.
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight back against anyone who tried to...
You mean Ridesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate that Linny's so eager to prove himself that he can't learn to rely on others. By the way, and you can just consider this a bit of idle gossip, but what's your impression of Farina? You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most easily.
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported to the Fortress of
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble he... Forget it. He did give us an opportunity. I will be meeting...
Do you require help with...
No need. I need to meet with Farina, the Hydro Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine. But what's fascinating about her is that she often seems more like a celebrity than a working Archon.
Oh? Come over here, you little critter, you! You dare to run from me?
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. Anything left unguarded is usually just bait. It's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydrognosis is not currently held by the Archon. In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all. And I sense that she's under some kind of curse.
Who are you? And what are you trying to do?
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. Either way, targeting her has lost all meaning. I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Focalor. Not long after, there's no doubt that there's something wrong with her. I began to entertain the possibility that she is not the true Hydro Archon. Perhaps Iudex Neuvillette is actually the I have to find the Gnosis. If the Neuvillette hypothesis is correct, he is probably in possession of it. Alternatively, it might have been hidden in a place that's hard for ordinary people to access.
Yes, Father.
My dear children.
News from the fortress of Meripede. Master Child has gone missing. On top of that, the contacts and guards we bribed at the fortress have all gone quiet as well.
Probably the handiwork of that Ridesley.
I'm afraid so.
This is a good opportunity. The value of a Harbinger is much higher than most would imagine. We now have an excuse to exert diplomatic— Set up a meeting for me. I would like to meet the Hydro Archon. Oh, and I have—
Yes, Father.
Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan, but I can use it to make a break. The initiative belongs— You should know the rest. Lenny's group is quite close to you. It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, even Farina herself is still pretending that nothing of that sort— I've now had 2 chances to enjoy tea with Farina. I have to say, the leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I once surmised that Iudex Neuvillette must be the Hydro Archon, but now— that doesn't seem right to me either. I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts and carries themselves. Whether Iudex Neuvillette or Farina, neither fits the bill. It's hard to imagine either of them as the Archon. Of course, that is all just how I feel. Gut feelings often do not require just— It is, however, quite amusing to me that after all my years working in intelligence gathering, I've come to realize I am at a complete loss regarding the identity of the god of the land of my birth. Don't you think Fontaine is quite intriguing? A catastrophe looms, yet many secrets have yet to rise to the surface. Ultimately, though, one must survive in order to do anything else. Should the need arise, I would be happy to cooperate. You don't need to commit to anything right now, of course. I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve, and as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together someday. He certainly returned quickly. You must want to catch up with each other, so I'll leave you to—
Neuvillette, is it over?
For now, yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long term. I'm concerned that sooner or later the prophesized events will occur. Thank you for protecting Farina. To put it simply, I used my power to force back the Primordial Sea and reseal the sluice gate. So as expected, the knave has turned up the pressure on Farina. She's trying to feel her out, though I'm still unsure as to her motives. Permission granted.
Whoa. It can't be that you're the real Hydro Archon, right? But that's just a speculation on our part, though. You can't tell us? Then that's okay. We can talk about something else. We won't try to force you. You guys—
If by the phrase, "you guys," you are referring to Farina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on a multitude of topics. I believe so. The fortress has a long and complex history. It has seen much, and now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I mourn this turn of events.
Huh? Why is it—
You may be closer to the truth.
Oh? And what are you thinking? The dragon of... Huh?
Please do not. My...
We were just guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we? You're not actually the dragon sovereign of water, right? Well, if you don't...
You guessed correctly. I sincerely hope you'll be able to keep this a secret for me.
Right, of course. We'll definitely help you keep it a... There's still something...
Please, go ahead.
Well, if you are the dragon sovereign of water, and you were able to force back the primordial sea from the fortress, then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you just use your power to solve the crisis?
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world, myself included, possess our full dragonhood. They say that when the first usurper arrived on Tivat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that stolen power is the basis of the Archon's authority.
There are 7 elemental Archons and 7 matching dragon sovereigns.
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago. As their successor, I know far less of that part of our ancient history. In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much unless the Archon disappears and returns. Given the status quo, however, I would recommend finding...
Oh, so...
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more questions regarding ancient history, you are welcome to discuss them with me at a later time.
Please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. Traveler, why don't we pay another visit to the Fortress of Meripede? Paimon is a little worried. We'll see you another time.
Take care.
Courier?
Yeah, I would...
That's no excuse for...
Courier, Lurvine, we're back!
Hello there. It's been quite the mess here recently.
And you?
Yep.
It can be a bit annoying when there are lots of people in the infirmary, but...
I mean, the infirmary does...
Oh, yeah?
You two really are just using your jobs as a cover for your relationship, aren't you?
Not at all!
The wind rises.
You guys are back?
You guys didn't get caught and thrown back down?
And here I thought you'd manage.
All right. There's no need to get caught up in the details.
Hey, it wasn't just me.
Something. I was also transferred to work in the kitchen a few days ago. I can still hear Quisto mumbling to the carrots. Whenever he'd say that, I'd tell him I'm sure they're fine. Wherever they are, they're kicking back with drinks in hand.
Hey, there's nothing.
These two. They sure are a lot warmer in front.
Oh, well, if you say so. I'll be
Quit following me.
Traveler, Paimon, are you still doing all right? Did either of you get hurt?
We're fine,
but a few people sustain. Oh, of course. How did Nervalet know that? Miss sure Nervalet has strong resonance with the hydro element. When the water level rises, he can feel the waves produced. I ran into the bombshell bros while bandaging the injuries of the wounded. They were mumbling the whole time about how you just, if you're not too pressed for time, please stay with us. Just let me know if you get it. I'd like to take the opportunity to spend some more time observing your facial muscles as well. Your happy smiles are quite contagious.
Take it easy.
Squall Fury.
Take it easy.
Wind rises.
Take it easy. Now guess, what suit will this next card be?
Well, look who it is.
Traveler,
Looks like you're recovering nicely.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to everyone's Oh, right.
Whoa, how did she...
She told me that it was nothing. It was as if saving a life wasn't a big deal to her at all. She also told me...
She didn't want to stress you out.
Yeah.
Okay, but check the...
You meant father? Did she say anything to you?
She said a few things that were, a bit hard to understand. And also that she's looking forward to working with us in the future.
Her attitude towards you is even better than what we'd imagined. That's fantastic. You should believe her. She has her own way of doing things, and she'll do everything in her power to help those she considers close.
Father...
Oh, Paimon just remembered that she thought Lenny was a bit too proud as well. She said that you should learn how to rely on others sometimes.
That does... Hey!
Are you going to stay here for the next few days?
Looks like it, yeah.
Excellent.
For real?
Another implies that you... Well, next...
Behold!
Do my eyes deceive me, or did I just see 2 inmates come back after making it to the surface? Some strange...
We wanted to see how the fortress is doing. Is everything still alright?
We're fine, for the most part. Neuvillette came down and took care of the worst of it.
If that's the case, why don't you just ask him to stay here?
Oh, yeah, what a brilliant plan. Let's go convince the Eudex himself to exchange the courts of Fontaine for a puddle of water in the middle of nowhere. He came here in a hurry and left without even stopping for a cup of tea. He did remember to take Miss Sigewinne's gift with him, though.
He sure sounds...
Miss Clorinde has left as well. She also took her gift from Miss Sigewinne.
Were the gifts milkshakes?
Neuvillette got the milkshake. Clorinde received lipstick instead.
Those aren't even remotely alike.
Well, it's Neuvillette's own fault for making Sigewinne worried about his health by working so much. But besides that, our head nurse is still pretty fond of picking out beauty products for the ladies. Oh, and I have some gifts here for you as well.
Are these from Sigewinne?
Nope, they're from yours truly. You've already wrapped up your work at the fortress, so you can return to the surface at any time. You haven't yet served your full prison term, however, so you may continue to use your cell until your term is up.
For real? Then we could stay here?
You may access the cafeteria for free. Just remember to come complete your paperwork once it's time for your release.
Wind rises. Too slow.
We're back in our cell again. We're no longer prisoners, though, so it really doesn't feel... Huh? How did you know? Hey, it's like... There are so many bad things in the world. You're counting Paimon today? Then let's ask... the last time we fell asleep... We should be safe. Alright then. Good night to you, traveler.